Hey, what's happening, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. Kind of a serious topic on this one. Let's talk about mixed martial arts and domestic violence. Now, recently, back to back, we've had mixed martial arts figures getting arrested and involved with domestic violence in some fashion or form. And barring these three individuals, Jon Jones, Liddell, Pena, we've had other guys like Mike Perry. We've had really serious cases like War Machine. Not saying that one case is less serious than another, but certainly there's levels to the violence. The War Machine one was pretty bad. Now, I firmly believe in innocent until proven guilty. Some guys do have track records of questionable behavior. You certainly have to take that into consideration. Of course, there's always two sides to a story. In Liddell's case, he came out with a lengthy statement, claimed that he was actually the victim of domestic violence, and he went to jail instead of his lady. He opted to go to jail. Regardless, usually the truth comes out. Not here to claim who's innocent, who's guilty, but is there like a correlation between mixed martial arts competitors and domestic violence? I think there's something going on in the boxing community as well, so you can kind of chalk it up to like combat sports athletes and domestic violence. So let's break down what type of person gets into like combat sports. You have the martial artist type, the guy that steps into that realm for the challenge to achieve certain personal goals. There's nothing necessarily wrong with them per se. A great example of that is Wonderboy Thompson. Squeaky clean, about as clean cut as it gets. George St. Pierre is another type like that. Some people do it for the personal growth and the challenge. Then you got guys that get into combat sports because sometimes they don't have any options. And the one thing that they're really good at is fighting. You could dive even deeper. You got guys who actually like to fight for whatever reason. I think most of those types have some type of trauma going on, some kind of like a crappy past in childhood, and they take their frustrations out and their demons out in the cage of the ring. I think those types are definitely more prone to domestic violence. Because think about it, you got guys that are like naturally aggressive as it is. You kind of got to be a little bit crazy or some screws loose to even step into a cage or a ring. Past trauma, built-in aggression. These guys are just kind of like wired different. And then throw in another layer, CTE. So you throw in brain trauma mixed in with guys that are already aggressive, got a troubled past, volatile. That's a bad mixture. And don't get me wrong, you have stockbrokers that are involved in domestic violence. You got professionals in other realms that have nothing to do with fighting. Now, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I would reckon that the majority of mixed martial artists, the majority of boxers don't have arrests for domestic violence. So I don't think it's like an epidemic in the combat sports world. But I also think it shouldn't be a shocker that these guys make questionable decisions, that they're volatile, that they have temper problems. I mean, that's kind of like the nature of what they deal with as a profession. They have to be aggressive, they have to be savages. And sometimes it's hard to shut that off. And it's just terrible when that thing that they have is taken out on a partner, specifically a female. Now again, remember, innocent until proven guilty. I don't think that every case is legit, but some cases are legit. And it's serious. And if it's proven that you did commit domestic violence against your partner, your female partner, or you could even flip it, it could be a female fighter taking things out on a male partner. If you're part of an organization, the right thing to do is for that organization to punish you, cut ties, suspend you, whatever the case may be. There's got to be some kind of repercussion for your outside antics. That's honestly really the only way that people learn. And it starts from when you're a kid. Why do you think some kids are spoiled? Because they never get punished or reprimanded. And their behavior just gets more intolerable. The antics just bump up each and every time because they don't know what consequences are. And adults are pretty much just big kids. Same thing applies to them. They have to be punished, they have to be held accountable, and they have to be responsible for their actions. Otherwise, they don't learn. So back to like the main point of the video. Do I think there's like an epidemic in the combat sports world with domestic violence? No, I don't. When a higher profile guy gets involved in something like that, of course, naturally is going to make headlines, going to be thrown out there. But even though it's not an epidemic in my opinion, I don't think it should be a shocker when a cage fighter or a professional hand-to-hand combatant gets involved with something crazy like domestic violence or assault, some kind of crazy stuff out of their profession. For the individuals that recently got arrested, that came out in the news, that have pending cases, if they're innocent, I hope they get vindicated. If they're guilty, I hope they get punished accordingly. Like I said, the truth usually comes out. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section. Do you think there's a problem in mixed martial arts or in combat sports in general with domestic violence or even like assault, violent behavior outside of the sports? And if so, why is that? What's your opinion on that? Thanks for watching this segment, guys. If you enjoyed it, consider hitting that subscribe button. Like and share the video, helps the channel grow. Appreciate it, guys. And until the next topic, the next segment, you all take care.